Warning. This video contains spoilers for DC Universe's Young Justice Outsiders. Viewer discretion is advised. DC Universe is out and I paid for a year of it. This is DC Discussion. Readers, the final 4 episodes of the first half of Young Justice Outsiders are now available, and I would have to say that if this was a theme this week, this theme would be resolution. I say that because these 4 episodes answer a lot of questions that we've had ever since, like, episode 2. And they answer these questions in both clever and very interesting ways that just makes me want to just, like, congratulate all the writing team on this season. Because this is just great. But you know what? Let me stop talking about it and start talking about it. What are you talking about? That made perfect sense. Let's just start with the next episode. Now, I'm not gonna lie, out of the 4 episodes that we got this week, this was my least favorite. Not because we didn't get some good resolution regarding some of the questions that we've had since episode 6, because we did. Like, for instance, during a recon mission by Batman, Katana, and Metamorpho, we find out that the new leader of the League of Assassins, I mean Shadows, is none other than Slade. Along with the fact that Lady Shiva is personally training Vandal Savage's daughter, and that Brion's sister was on the island, but has since been taken elsewhere. And it's not like we don't get proper setup and teases for what's going to happen in the next 3 episodes or the second half of the season. Because we do. We see Violet choosing a last name in preparation to integrate into society by going to school.
You can use Harper if you want.
Violet Harper. I like it.
Harper? Really? Alright. We see the extent of Victor and Silas's relationship and how badly it's fractured.
Just be careful, Silas.
I always am.
No, you're not. And we also see a vibeless Cisco getting picked on by the jocks and Victor not sticking up for him and checking his teammates? What the fuck, dude? No, readers, this is my least favorite episode of the 4 because it's the most slowest burn of the 4 in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, everything that happened in this episode needed to happen in this episode. And everybody that was in this that had the capability of making good decisions made good decisions. You know, except Brion, of course.
Enough!
I guess I just knew that everything this episode was doing was preparing me for the episodes to come, while at the same time giving me some peace of mind as far as how past episodes teased information. But I will say that out of all the fights that happened in this episode, Katana versus Lady Shiva was the most fire, and that's all that I can personally ask for. So guess what happened when Silas said he was going to show up to Victor's football game? If you guessed that he missed it because he was being Robin Williams from Flubber, while holding on to his title as the most sociopathic father in DC Comics that isn't a superhero, you'd be correct. But he sure the fuck wasn't holding on to Vic Stone's natural life, bitch! No disrespect to Victor Stone, he had every reason to go off on his dad. And he had every reason to react the way that he did when he found out that Silas used the father box to turn him into Cyborg, because consent is important no matter what the situation is. Meanwhile, it's Violet's and Forger's first day at school, and Forger's been given the human name of Fred Bug while gifted a glamour necklace from Zatanna to make him look human. Oh no, he's cute! And while that's happening, we finally get something that I've been wanting ever since episode 3. We finally get to the root of Brion's impatience and anger. It's done in the form of the constant confrontation between Dick and Brion, especially since finding out that his sister was involved, but considering everything else we've seen from him, we know that there's more to it than just getting tired of waiting for action. This is very important because it's one of the very first development arcs that are somewhat resolved here, and because we've gotten the exposure we've gotten to his hot-headedness, it feels 100% natural and believable. But while we got that, we also find out what happens during Violet and Forger's first day at school. This includes the 2 meeting Harper Row and Forger just being cute as fuck doing so, Violet getting sick around the same time as Vic's transformation into Cyborg, and discovering that turning indigo causes her to open up boom tubes, bitch, what the fuck? And at the same time she travels through it and ends up in Star Labs Detroit, Vic is already cybernetically enhanced and is literally out for blood trying to kill whatever scientists and guards he can get his hands on, especially his dad. Then she does this.
And your son can't zone torch me at all.
What? So you know all those Beast Boy snippets in the past episodes of him being on not Star Trek? If you're anything like me, and let's just face it, you're probably not if you already figured out that they served a bigger purpose, then you probably just dismissed them as small gags and showing what he was up to since season 2. But it turns out that they play a very important role, not only in the metahuman trafficking ring, but with the VR headsets as well. Because not only is it revealed that Granny Goodness is sponsoring his show, but that the VR headsets are actually mind-controlling metahumans from the looks of it. This almost happens to Beast Boy, but the monkey god that chose Beast Boy to be his avatar put him in a coma instead, forcing him to relive moments of his past until Miss Martian, accompanied by Superboy, was able to break him out of it. Considering the lack of Beast Boy we've seen in this season and everything that he's gone through in season 2, this was a very nice development episode for him, and considering all the plot points that were in this season, it didn't really feel that out of place. And that's due to the fact that we got resolution regarding one of the things we figured was going to play a prominent role in this season ever since episode 4. And speaking of resolves, we finally figure out what the fuck is happening to Violet, and it is all pieced together beautifully. You see, the reason why she was able to not only summon a boom tube, but cleanse Victor Stone when he was going haywire, is because the tech that Silas used to save Victor's life is a still very active father box, while Violet has the soul of a mother box inside her that found refuge in her body after the mother box Superboy discovered earlier on was dissected to make the meta machines in Markovia. That's why Dr. Fate said she had an old soul within her. That's why she started getting sick when Victor was turning into Cyborg. And that's why she can override the father box's programming whenever it takes control of Victor. And that's why she rejects any flashbacks or traces of her life before she was resurrected for the first time. And it's because of these 2 points, readers, and how they were resolved/revealed is why Nightmare Monkeys out of the 4 episodes is my personal favorite. But the mid-season finale comes to a close second. Speaking of resolve, Brion finally gets some of his own, because Dick finds his sister and is ready to bring the team along to liberate her. And he knows this because of a combination of multiple sources. One being the info that Batman, Metamorpho, and Katana brought back from Santa Prisca. And 2 being the intel that Beast Boy told Miss Martian and Superboy in the past episode, who told them about the VR headsets and that they were created to test out the metagene on individuals who had the headsets on. If they had it, then they would be mind-controlled into going to the nearest metahuman trafficking site. One of the locations just so happens to be a metahuman fight club/auction hosting members of the Court of Owls, which Brion's sister is fighting in and sold to the highest bidder afterwards. Unfortunately for Violet, she's on make sure Father Box doesn't take control of Victor duty and has to stay behind. And considering the second step that Violet and Brion took in their relationship, she is not okay with this.
Brion went on a mission without me. What if he's hurt? What if I never see him again?
And readers, while I am happy to say that the A-plot regarding freeing Tara and the other metahuman kids that were stuck in this traffic and the fight that followed up with it was pretty good to watch. Especially watching Tara and Brion work together by combining their powers to help the others. I would have to say that the prize for best subplot in this episode has to be Victor and Violet's B-plot for a numerous amount of things. Not only do we find out Halo's kryptonite in this episode being that when she's too anxiety-driven or in such a strong state of emotional overload that her powers don't work, but we also get to experience the payoff with her development that we've been on board for since episode 4 and get a stronger and more confident character with her because of it. And it's thanks to that payoff and development that we finally get a father boxless Victor because of it, and we finally get to see him develop into the cyborg that we all know and love. I just love when that happens. So with all the metahuman trafficking locations revealed thanks to tapping into the software of the VR headsets, Victor finally in control of his cybernetic abilities. And both Violet and Brion finally getting a proper sense of self. Not only has the light been dealt a serious blow, but the team is now stronger than ever. And it looks like Terra will be joining it and will be a great contribution. Oh. Well, shit. Readers, the first half of Young Justice Outsiders, it was good. It was really good. I love the use of the characters, both old and new. The writing is just great. And personally, while I am glad that the show decided to mature according to its age demographic that season 1 initially had, or reached out for to begin with, I'm really glad that despite it being off the air for so long, that it was still able to keep its charm. But no, seriously, stop killing off Halo every episode and a half. It's starting to get old. So with that, readers, your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below what you thought of the last 4 episodes of the first half of Young Justice Outsiders. Or if you feel like sharing with the rest of the class what you think is going to happen in the second half of the season when it airs this summer. And now I have 2 weeks to watch Titans before Doom Patrol comes out. Oh boy. If you want to help support the channel, you can join my Patreon by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description box below, where you can also find a link to my merchandise store. Or if you prefer to give a one-time donation, you can find the links to my PayPal and my Ko-fi account in the description box as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.